KNB1. I will see KNB1. 1 second. 03. So the company code data. Okay. So this is the recon account. Terms of payment 3001. So indicator we have to enter X. That means it selects the checkbox. List of payment methods. I am not giving anything because I have made it as a fixed value. Okay. So I will copy these fields. Done. Now save these fields. Remember we have the header column. While saving, you have to make this as a text tab delimited and enter the file name as zcust_src1. Then after that you can close this one. Click on S. Okay, here come back to LSMW. Click on change. Oh, sorry, I think it's already changed mode. Let me change it again. Okay. Now double click here and select the file path. I saved it on the. So this is zcust_src1. Description. Code tabulator format because we save the file in tab delimited, that is tabulator format. So that's why I selected this one. And file structure, fields name, I told you to remember that we are using the column headings. So that's why we have to select this one. If you are not using that column heading, you can remove this checkbox. Okay. And click on continue. Now this is good. Actually it should show these fields, the converted data field and all those things. So oops, sorry, let me go back to this specify fields. Yeah, now it is showing the imported data. You see, this is our project name, imported data. Master data is a project, customer is object name. This is imported data. That means it internally it creates a file with our source data and it converts the data into the target structure. For that it uses another file. So the same, it uses the file naming will be same, project, subproject and object. Sometimes you will get an error, that is because of the length. It tries to create the file name using these three objects, but because the length is more than 45 characters, it won't it cannot create that files. So in that case, when you get that error, you can simply change the file name. You just remove few characters for both, then it will allow you to save this step. Okay, now go back and assign fields. We have to assign the fields to your source structure. Since we have only one source structure, it automatically assigned it. Then read data. In this step, system reads the data from our file. Here transaction numbers, if you have many records, in that case, um, if you want to first see few records, how just for testing purpose, you can enter the transaction numbers. That means if you want the system to read only first two records, you can put 1 to 2. That's how system selects only those two records. But in this case, I want the system to read all the records from my file. So I'm executing without entering any value. So you see, there are 4 records in our file. All of them were read and written. Not written is 0. That means from source structure, it read all the records. It is again showing how many transactions records read and written. If you are using only few records to be written, suppose 1, 2, 2, only 2 records, system shows 2 records in the not written section. See, it read 4, but it written only 2 because we want the system to read only 2, not written 2. So, but I want all the records. So I'm executing this again because the second time I read only 2 records. Now this is good. This step is actually not required. If you want to see the data, how whether it correctly read it or not, then you can execute this step. Otherwise, it is not required. If you are sure that the values will be correct. So okay, I made a mistake here. You see, it is company code is not coming here because it is the source structure, and also in our upload file we have not updated company code and payment methods. In this case, because we are using constant or fixed value, in that case we don't need those two fields in our source structure, so we can simply delete them. Just check the field mapping again. So we have this conversion already there. This one is also good. Okay, now you can read again. Okay, go back and display. Now all the fields are correctly mapped. Now it will not show the company code and payment methods, but in the converted data it should show. So the next step, see 4 records. Whatever the records it read, it is converting all of them because I am not entering any transactions. So you can display the converted data. See here all the records. So 3000 we have not updated in the our upload file, but it is still coming because the constant, and payment method also fixed value. Okay. Create batch input session. I think you know the batch input session. First it creates a folder in SM35 transaction. From there we have to uh, execute it. So the name of the batch input folder is customer. You can change if you want this field, and user ID. So it creates the folder with this user ID. If you want this to be created with some other user, you can change the field, because in production the IT team may not have access to these business transaction codes. In that case, you put the user ID who has access or who is going to execute that one. You put that user ID here. and keep batch input folder. Select the checkbox. It's not a problem if you don't select it. Now one batch is created. Run batch input session. It move to the next step, the last step. So this is SM35. So here this folder is created. Now click on process. We have these many options. Process in foreground. If you select this radio button, for all the records you have to click on enter button for all the screens that you have recorded. So for our test purpose, since we have used on uploading only 4 records, it should be fine. But assume in cases where you want to upload the thousands of records, that case it would be difficult for you to keep pressing the enter button. So in that case, we can use the second radio button, display error only. It stops only when there is any error. Otherwise, it won't stop. It will finish the process if all are good. The third one is background. So even though there is an error, it won't show you because we are executing it in the background. So this really useful in case of performances. When you are uploading several thousands of records, that case the good option is to use the background option and select the extended log also. Click on process. Oh, sorry. Think I have used the background, right? So for background, you can go to SM37 and see whether that job is created or not. So this is the one we have created. This is created. So this is in release status. Usually it should be active. So now it is active. So this session is finished. Now you can come back here and refresh this screen, and this is changed. So you can still see this session here because we have selected the keep the folder after processing when creating this batch input session. Okay. Now you can see the number of transactions read 4 and the successful transactions processed 4. You can use this analysis button to see. In case of errors, this is a really good tool. You can see the log. See, you can see all the transactions. For all 4 transactions, it used FD01 transaction code and status is processed. And in the screens, it will show what screens it has used. In recording, we have used this program and these are the screen numbers. And in log, it shows the customer numbers created. In case of any error and in case of background processing, this log is really useful. It shows the errors here. So 0 transactions with errors, so all 4 transactions are processed. So we are good. So now you can see this data. It is really created or not. You can go to FD03 and test it. 371 is our first record. Yes, it is created. Another way is you can check in table. KNA1 is general data, KNB1 is company code data. 100 371 to 100 374. These 4 records we have created. Okay, see today's date, and this is the user created. So this is how the recording method works, and in the next class I will show you the batch input method for the same customer master data. Okay, thank you guys. Keep watching for the second session on LSMW. Thank you.